Hi, I'm Ron Kuzma, VP of Architectural and Theatrical Lighting at Port Lighting Systems.
And I'm Misha Brooks, the PCMA New England Chapter President. Welcome to our virtual events webinar, brought to you by PortLIVE, an exciting new virtual events collaboration created by Port Lighting Systems and Ice9 Productions.
These days, everyone is looking for safe alternatives to in-person events. PortLIVE is one such option. By utilizing almost any online meeting platform with just your computer, phone, or tablet and an internet connection, you and your guests can enjoy a polished, professional, and engaging virtual event. In fact, we're coming to you live from one of our virtual studios we've created, 100% virtual environments that speakers at your event can walk through and interact in. Before we get into the details of virtual events, let's check in with Misha, who will give us some PCMA New England chapter updates.
Good afternoon, PCMA New England. Thank you for joining us for a very exciting presentation today, brought to you by PortLIVE and Ice9 Productions. I am Misha Brooks, Director of Business Development at Corinthian Events and your PCMA Chapter President. Before we dive into the incredible content created for us today by PortLIVE and Ice9 Productions, I want to take you through some of our PCMA New England chapter updates. With 7,000 members and 50,000 subscribers, PCMA has influence all over the world. We're positioned to be the global leader in business events through our transformative vision for our industry. The impact of the COVID-19 virus makes your connection with PCMA invaluable. PCMA has resources to keep you connected or help you find your new path. If you're experiencing economic loss because of the COVID-19 outbreak, PCMA is here to help. If you're interested in renewing your membership or joining PCMA, you can do for a heavily reduced rate of $50. If you're interested, please email membership@pcma.org. A big thank you to our annual partners, Capital Convention Contractors, Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, Party Rental, David Fox Photography. We truly appreciate your ongoing commitment to our success. All registration funds raised will go directly to our chosen charity for 2020, which is the Boston Partners in Education. Boston Partners in Education enhances the academic achievement and nurtures the personal growth of Boston Public School students by providing them with focused, individualized, in-school volunteer support. Next month, we will be bringing you more content from our July meeting partners' Steelcase event experience. Steelcase will be presenting us with Navigating What's Next, the post-COVID event experience. Please be sure to check out our website to register and for the date that will be announced within the next week. Without further delay, I am very excited to introduce you to our meeting sponsor today and the creators of the incredible content that you are about to experience. Virtual Events webinar brought to you by PortLIVE, an exciting new virtual collaboration created by Port Lighting Systems and Ice9 Productions.
Thanks, Misha. Whether your unique event is a gala, fundraiser, conference commencement, concert, wedding, mitzvah, or convention, a professional virtual event team can bring it to life without you ever having to leave home. For you and your guests, the live event experience is effortless, while an expert team like ours works in a remote location, seamlessly transitioning between virtual settings as presenters broadcast from wherever they are across the globe. Just like live events, a virtual event can be fully customized to meet your needs, and options range from simple web conference management to highly sophisticated virtual events with one of our multiple 3D environments custom built for your presenters to present and interact in. Your event setting could be a theater, living room, office, conference room, studio, stadium, or even the moon. Your custom virtual environment options are truly endless. Over the next 30 minutes or so, our PortLIVE team is going to walk you through how to make the most of your virtual event and what it takes to make this magic happen. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to my colleagues.
Thanks, Ron. I'm Kyle Stetson, an account executive and production manager.
And I'm Patrick Richards, Senior Project Manager with PortLIVE. We are sitting in our green screen studio, the first step to building an environment for your speakers to present from.
Our environments are created and controlled by a team of engineers behind the scene who you will meet later in the program. Jared, Can you drop us into an environment?
Much better. Let's start with an overview of what a virtual event is and how to make it work for your event or convention.
A virtual event is an online event that involves people interacting in a virtual environment on the web rather than meeting in a physical location. Virtual events can be single or multi-session online events that often feature webinars, webcasts, and live streams. They can either be completely presentational with viewers watching a pre-recorded video or can be highly interactive with audience participation and feedback, starting to look and feel a lot like their physical counterparts.
Virtual events are still just as powerful as physical events. You can still get your message out there, not just to 1,000 people in a ballroom, but globally, to anyone who opens the live stream. You can also facilitate a common goal between all attendees. Are they here to learn, teach, or help support a greater cause? And finally, create connections between valuable partners and potential clients and donors.
Now that we have a quick overview of what a virtual event is, here are the steps we take when working with our clients to put on a successful event. Step 1, review your event and goals. First, review your current live event. Ask yourself questions like, how is it structured? What type of content did you plan to use? Who is your target audience? And what is the main goal of the event? For example, a social gathering, fundraiser, investors meeting, or a way to connect and communicate with employees.
The goal is to understand the foundation of your event and the real reason why participants attend it. It can be difficult to incorporate every program into your virtual event, so focus on programs your participants respond best to. It's much better to showcase one great piece of content than 5 lackluster programs. For example, your usual participants may come to your event because they love to socialize. You can provide them with breakout tables during the event to catch up with old friends and network with new people. Conversely, your participants might love panel discussions. A live stream can provide them with the content they care about and a virtual space for them to chat. Step 2, choose a virtual event platform. This is where technology comes in. You can streamline the entire guest experience by investing into a virtual event platform. These are virtual platforms that play the venue role online. Your attendees go there to watch your live streams, network, and interact with sponsors. These platforms allow you to focus on making your virtual event even more successful than your physical event. Forget about struggling with technological obstacles. For example, you can use a virtual event platform for event live streams, virtual networking, virtual sponsors, and schedule an agenda.
Step 3, keep your attendees in the know. Since virtual events are still a new experience for everyone, it's important to keep your attendees informed. Virtual event platforms can help keep attendees informed with announcements, push notifications, and multi-track agendas. But first, they need to join to stay up to date. That's why a solid communications plan is essential. It's much easier to forget to join a virtual event than a real one, so keep a great communication loop going with your attendees.
Use email, social media, your website, and more to let them know about the new opportunity and that they can still expect quality connections and content.
Your customer experience should be your first priority, and that starts by keeping your attendees informed of all the incredible content your event has for them.
Step 4, select the right content types for your virtual event. Content is king in the virtual world. It's important to make sure your event is engaging and your content is exciting for your audience. Normally, virtual events rely on content like video playback, slide decks, animated graphics, video conferences with remote speakers, and a pre-recorded or live host. No matter the area of interest or individual agenda, your participants will experience valuable content and discussions, just as they'd enjoy them if they were in the room.
Step 5, engage your attendees. A physical conference engages all senses when your attendees are present. However, a virtual event can engage them just as well. It just requires a different approach or plan. Some ways to engage attendees are to gather feedback through live surveys, gauge powerful guest metrics and generate automatic matchmaking, generate buzz with integrated social feeds, highlight speaker bios and their content, understand customer needs as the event unfolds with live polling. This is where we see another major benefit of virtual over physical events. They provide more personalization options. Virtual events can help you cater to everyone's needs and allow for global outreach to potential new customers and networking opportunities.
Step 6, provide networking opportunities. A huge loss when switching to virtual events is the fact that people can't network face-to-face. Many participants come to events because they want to meet new leads, donors, and potential business partners. However, that isn't the case anymore. Even if participants can't shake hands, they can still network with the use of matchmaking technology. The easiest way to provide quality networking opportunities is to give your attendees a powerful matchmaking tool, normally a part of your virtual event platform. Guests are able to filter attendees and find meaningful connections. Through many platforms, you can book virtual meetings in seconds or join a breakout meeting to chat face-to-face with the presenter and other attendees.
Step 7. Promote your sponsors. You may be wondering how you'll keep your sponsorship deals if your event is virtual. This is not a problem. You can make sure your sponsors are still on board by offering them measurable visibility. Virtual event platforms are able to gather and use sponsor dashboards for ROI tracking, partners tabs for your attendees, sponsor promotion space in attendees lists, and attendee interest data. So even if you go fully virtual, you'll still be able to promote your sponsors, match them with attendees who have similar interests, and make sure the show goes on.
Step 8. Provide guidance. Depending on your target's audience skills, you may need to provide some form of training. To save time, use virtual event platforms that are intuitive and easy to use. As well, use platforms that can host everything in one place, so there's no need to navigate away or download extra apps.
No matter which virtual event platform you use, we recommend announcing your virtual event and explaining how it will work through the same channels you've used to announce your physical event.
This event type is still new, so it's important to emphasize the benefits of the virtual event. Tell your guests and customers how it will work and what they will get out of it. All the while, elaborate on the virtual networking opportunities.
Make sure you brief your donors or sponsors as well as show them how they can increase their visibility online, explain how you will help them connect with attendees interested in their solutions, and use metrics to measure their ROI and maximize their visibility.
And once you've informed everyone properly, your attendees and your sponsors will be excited to hear what you have to say and will be comfortable in the virtual event setting.
Back to you, Ron.
Thanks, guys. It's great to know that pivoting from a live event to a virtual event will be so easy with the right team and goal in place. From my experience, the easier you make it for your audience to dive right into the content, the longer they will stay engaged. It's tempting to put all of the important information on your homepage, but try to organize everything into tabs and have the link to your live stream or main event easily accessible. Next, I'd like to send it to Chris, who will show you how to include remote presenters into your virtual event.
Thanks, Ron. Hi, I'm Chris Burr, Vice President of Production Services here at Port Lighting Systems. Today, I'd like to show you how easy it is to set up a great home studio and to offer a few pointers to make sure you and your speakers look your best. By now, most of us have probably been part of something like this. Set up your laptop, tablet, or smartphone and look at what the camera captures with you in it as we walk you through the next several steps. Pick your background. If you don't have a green screen, you'll want to find a clean, simple, uncluttered background, a mostly empty wall or bookshelf. Things you probably don't want people to see behind you might include a pile of laundry, a bathroom, maybe a kitchen. The more nondescript your setting, the better. Now you're ready to start adding or removing items from the background to make it look great. Framing. To look your professional best, you want to set your camera around the level of your hairline. You should be able to put your hand on top of your head and have your fingertips just touching the frame captured by the camera and be looking at yourself centered within the captured frame. To make sure you're not too far and not too close to the camera, you will want the frame to capture you from about your chest or waist up. If you're using a laptop, you may have to elevate it. I'm using a milk crate, but books work well too. If you're doing all this on your phone, you'll want to use a stand. And always be sure to set the phone horizontally to capture you in a landscape frame rather than a vertical portrait. Lighting. Probably one of the most important things to all this is lighting. If you're not lit well, it will show. You might think sitting near a window will add light. Well, it will, but if the light is behind you, you will be backlit and look like this. To use natural light to your advantage, first, find a window getting indirect sunlight. One where the sun isn't beaming straight at you and won't be at any point during your webcast. Sit across from the window so the natural indirect light is in front of you and falls on your face. Place your camera, laptop, or device between you and the window. Look at yourself in the monitor. If the light is still too bright and your window has a shade or curtain, try adjusting it. If natural light isn't an option for you, find a lamp somewhere in your home. Set it up just behind and slightly above your camera or device's camera. To make you look your best, we are aiming for soft, diffused light. Watch yourself in the monitor as you adjust the placement of the lamp. If you want to get more advanced with your lighting, specialty lighting is an option. Maybe you have a ring light or some other type of video light. Use the same basic rules of thumb to set these up and always adjust until you look just right on your monitor. You can also speak with the virtual event team to find the right solution for you. I cannot stress how important having another audio capture device is. It is the difference between people hearing your message without effort and people trying to hear you competing with room noise, machine noise, and environmental noise. All of this adds up to fatiguing your listener and losing your audience. To avoid this, find a quiet place, free of screaming children, barking dogs, and slamming doors. This is especially important if you are the speaker. This is a USB lav mic. To use this, plug it into the USB port on your laptop. If this is the first time using it, your computer will need a second to set it up. Once it is set, feed the mic up the front inside of your shirt and bring it out between the top and second button. Clip it to your shirt. This will give your listener a great audio experience as well as hiding the wires. Just don't forget to unplug it if you have to step away from your device. Earbuds. Simply put them on and plug them into your computer's audio port. Experiment beforehand for best positioning and you'll not only have great audio, you'll instantly block out most background noise you might be dealing with. Your device will default to using its built-in microphone. If you are using another audio capture device, such as the one mentioned above, other than the built-in mic, go to your settings, select audio, select the audio device you would like. This would also be the same if you were using a different camera to capture video as well. Make sure your mic is unmuted. Either of these two options will give you the best results. Consult your virtual event team for more information. What to wear? Choose something appropriate to your special event, avoiding stripes, white, and anything blending into your background to ensure you play nice with the camera while looking your best. Try a few options and pick the best. Where to look? It's human nature to watch yourself while you're speaking, but your audience will see that you're not looking at the camera. Print a photo of someone you know. Take a pair of scissors and cut around the printout. Punch a hole in the bottom of their chin. Place that hole over your laptop's camera and tape it on. Talk to that picture so your viewers feel like you are talking and looking right at them. And don't forget to clean your camera lens. Whether seated or standing, watch your posture. No slouching. Be comfortable and relaxed. If you have a presentation, rehearse it. And remember, what you see in your monitor, everyone else sees too. So behave as you would at an in-person event to ensure that you'll impress at every moment. Ron, back to you.
Thanks, Chris, for that great demonstration of how to look and sound your best during a virtual event. It's amazing how some simple lighting adjustments can boost the image quality of your remote presenter. Now, Blair will give us a peek behind the curtain to learn what makes a virtual event possible.
Thanks, Ron. I'm Blair Howell, VP and Director of Client Services for Ice9 Productions. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the technical production evolution that is happening today. Live event experiences have always impacted our senses in tangible ways. Crisp, big sound with effective and expansive visuals saturating our audience, with presenters, executives, talent, audience, all together, all within our sphere of influence in the live event space. Your technical production company collaborates with you and your partners to align all of the technical elements into a system that delivers your carefully designed experience. There at the venue, with the primary audience being there in the room for that big experience. The virtual audience has historically been the secondary audience. But today, that is flipped with everything happening remotely. We're all familiar with bumpy multi-window video conference calls and pixelated colleagues, which has pretty much become the status quo for a lot of virtual event production offerings out there. If it all runs without technical disruption, it seems to suffice for many people today as a vehicle for communication. So today, with a landscape like this, exactly what do you need to do from a production standpoint to deliver an engaging and successful virtual meeting? And then beyond that, what's next? Your production team is still there to make sure your remote audience has the most engaging experience possible without any technical disruptions. Our virtual production hub has all of the same components and stations as the live event, except now, right here in our facilities, with socially distanced workstations, separate entrances and restroom areas for various teams, a warehouse area, a fully outfitted set of green screen studios, and limited additional production costs outside of the studio. So let's take a quick tour to really understand what is happening technically here at the Virtual Production Hub, and further, what role do the components play? Your EIC, Engineer in Charge, or Technical Director, is at the center of the hub, orchestrating the show while operating a 2.5 ME broadcast production switching system. He is the chief engineer. He has the ultimate responsibility for routing the sources and feeds through the system. The audio engineer ensures that nothing unintentional happens with the sound. They manage and time sync via a robust Dante digital infrastructure and control the digital matrix comm system. The caller input station services incoming video callers who are specific to the broadcast or recording, as opposed to a viewing participant. This is managed by the studio manager, a critical team member who manages all of the supporting stations around the hub. As soon as the complexity of the program increases, however, it may quickly become necessary to add a dedicated teleprompter operator, graphics operator, outbound stream manager, and perhaps a second audio and video engineer, all contingent on the complexity and duration of the program, budget, and intended outcomes. Today, your technical production partner really is in the business of helping you create an interactive broadcast programming. Two-way video and audio from multiple remote locations concurrently, similar to what we see on the news today. This is the direction that most virtual events are taking. Our virtual production technique leverages video conferencing software like Zoom and Skype, and then integrates a real-time 3D software into the process. It is this additional 3D station and engineer in our hub that really puts the virtual in virtual production. This is new, and we think it's very cool. If you've ever navigated through any Fortnite-like gaming world, you know what a virtual experience looks and feels like. We bring remote presenters into the Ice9 Virtual Production Hub and place them individually into the same 3D virtual space. Now, this approach offers us complete control over the environment and infinite opportunity for motion graphics, logos, scenic elements, and dramatic camera sweeps throughout the space. Your 3D environment can be reused and repurposed as many times as you would like. They can be built from templates to save cost or fully custom from scratch. from the safety of home, presenters can now appear to be physically on the same stage as other presenters while using only their laptops, smartphones, or tablets. Much like the control room for TV news or other broadcasts, the Virtual Production Hub is the behind-the-scenes command center that allows your technical production team to create and direct your virtual world, to create the highest production value possible for your audience to receive your carefully designed messages. So, there's a lot of technology options out there for you to choose from. We look forward to hearing about what has worked for you and what you'd like to see more of. Ron, back to you.
Thanks, Blair. It seems like the possibilities are endless with today's technology. Now, let's go back to Kyle and Pat in our PortLIVE studio to get immersed in the virtual event experience, plus a tour of a variety of virtual environments.
Before we walk you through the full virtual event experience, I'd like to pick up where Blair left off and show you how easily PortLIVE can integrate into any existing web stream or video conference platform. As you can see, we can broadcast the same stream of myself to almost any platform available online. And for your guests, the experience will be effortless.
Now that we know why you should host a virtual event and how it works, let's walk through the guest experience. The first contact or guest interaction will either be in an email or they will sign up on the event website. To capture all of their information, you will need a registration page. To register, guests from your email list will be directed to a customizable registration page, which will take their information, allowing you to track guest attendance and send event updates. There are many tiers and options available, depending on the level of information you are looking to get from your guests and the options you are providing the guests for their event experience.
Once they've finished registering, a link to the live stream or virtual event platform will be sent out. As soon as the event page is open, they will be able to explore it, learning more information about the specific event or company. They can view informational or intro videos and learn more about the sponsors involved in this event.
One popular feature to include is a managed chat room. During the event, guests are able to chat with each other, managed on the back end by our software team. This is a great place to get questions ahead of time for a Q&A session.
If your event is a fundraiser, there are a variety of special features to encourage increased giving and build a sense of energy and urgency around your cause. Our live stat feature works by syncing live data with your preferred fundraising platform and adding it as a visible element in the environment or in the virtual event platform. App-based giving is another option for fundraisers. Before the event, send your guest a link to the connected fundraising app, which allows guests to not only monitor the progress, but also have an opportunity for live participation without having to leave the live stream.
When it comes time to display your pre-recorded or live videos, the guest experience is seamless. You choose whether you want full screen, picture-in-picture, or to incorporate videos and images into your virtual set.
Let's say your event calls for breakout rooms for smaller discussion groups. Not only is this possible, in some platforms your guests can even choose which virtual room they'd like to break off to, based on other guests who will be there, how crowded that room is so far, and the topics being discussed. This is also a built-in feature to many virtual conference platforms, where guests can be pre-assigned to tables, similar to tables at a seated dinner. This allows your guests to interact with each other, increasing engagement throughout the event.
This is a great feature that is much more powerful in virtual events than in the live event setting. In addition to finding out exactly how many guests attend and who they are, you can receive detailed information about which keynotes and advertisers guests engaged with most, and for how long. This information is vital to show your sponsors, proving people attending these virtual events are engaged, sometimes even more than in a physical event.
To add another dimension to any virtual event, partner with event planners who are an endless source of creative ideas. Sending catering, special snacks, event swag, and celebratory items to each guest's home can really add another layer of excitement and energy to your event. You can turn the guest camera into a photo booth using props and social media hashtags, signs, and placards. Think about starting out your virtual cocktail hour with a live mixologist, interacting with your guests who were sent all the ingredients to make an event-specific cocktail. There's no end to the number of ways you can take your virtual event to the next level.
This is the fun part. Your virtual event can take place in truly any setting. You're only limited by your imagination. The larger your green screen, the more you can interact within your virtual space. We create and customize each virtual environment to your event. Let's go on a tour of some of the environments we've created so far.
This stage is ideal for any commencement, graduation, or school ceremony. It is fully customizable with your school colors, photos of students, retrospective videos, and more. You can transition in and out of this set to bring your highlight reels and graduate photos full screen.
A ballroom is a great choice for fundraisers, galas, and corporate events. This environment gives you a lot of room to show content, videos, or multiple guest speakers on the screen. Place your presenters into a familiar environment that your attendees are used to seeing.
For larger conferences and conventions, this setting is perfect. On this massive screen, all of your guests are able to simultaneously view slides, video playback, guest speakers, or moderate Q&A sessions with remote callers.
Maybe your event has sponsors needing booths, or maybe it's a full-on convention with vendor booths. Any of these can be customized to meet your needs. Display products either as fully rendered 3D objects, or use existing advertising assets displayed on virtual screens within the environment.
Perhaps you want to set your keynote speaker in a unique environment. This Zen garden will provide a serene location to convey your message.
If your event is looking for a more intimate location for your host or guest speakers, you might like to choose an environment like this. Customize the on-screen graphics as well as the environment colors to match your brand.
This set is ideal for 1 to 4 presenters with a more traditional broadcast studio feel. Have your host anchor your virtual event and throw to remote presenters in different parts of the studio, just like you see on TV. There's plenty of room for media playback and graphics customization. Host panel discussions with your presenter fully in the studio while bringing panelists in on virtual monitors.
Host the entertainment for your event on a stage like this, with the ability to adapt from a solo musician to a full-size band. No matter which environment your event requires, know that all aspects can be tailored to suit your aesthetic or branding. When it comes to the virtual world, the sky's the limit. Ron, back to you.
Thanks, guys. We hope you've enjoyed this tour of the virtual event experience and how you can make it work for your event. Misha, we hope this quick overview of virtual events will help out you and your PCMA members to navigate this new virtual world. While we are compiling the list of questions from our live stream, would you mind giving us a quick recap of what PCMA is doing to help their members during these trying times?
Absolutely. PCMA has resources to keep you connected or help you find your new path. If you're experiencing economic loss because of the COVID-19 outbreak, PCMA is here to help. If you're interested in renewing your membership or joining PCMA, you can do so for a heavily reduced rate of $50. If you're interested, please email membership@pcma.org. Once again, a big thank you to our annual partners, Capitol Convention Contractors, Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, Party Rental, and David Fox Photography. We truly appreciate your ongoing commitment to our success. Now, without further ado, let's go to Kyle and Blair to answer some of the questions that the people have asked online.
Okay, it looks like our first question is about Patrick, and I'm sorry to say that no, he is not single.
Well, the next question is, can I do a live web stream like this myself? Let's go to Blair to answer that.
Well, that's a great question, and the short answer is yes. You can produce your own virtual event or webinar. For smaller programs that are more internal, multi-window meetings can be very successful. Businesses still need to communicate. The technologies are getting more robust and easier to use, and having someone on staff with you who is your resident webinar or virtual production expert can allow you to produce quite satisfactory programming. It really depends on the level of experience you're trying to create. We've all seen and heard the audio and video gremlins that sneak in and steal everyone's attention. On higher level programs for external or investor communications, there isn't any room for the program to be interrupted for any reason. It's really no different than a live event where things can go terribly awry without pro production support. Executing a seamless, brand immersive, interactive experience can be a complex and time-consuming undertaking. It's really up to you to decide what's important. What risks are you willing to take? What level of production value best meets the strategic needs for your event?
That's great, Blair. Knowing that for certain levels of webcasting, a DIY solution is an acceptable option, and it's really helpful. Thank you.
The next question is about pricing. How much does all of this cost? let's go to Kyle for that.
Thanks, Ron. This is a great question and a discussion that we have every day with our clients. Like live events, every production is different with varying needs for remote inputs, graphics, virtual environments. The best way to start pricing this all out is to look at your AV costs for your live event. You'll still need all the switching, playback, and audio, and the associated labor. Where you save on the budget is not needing projection screens, LED walls, or monitors. And an additional expense is the platform that you decide to show your content on. Another thing to think about is rehearsal time. It is daunting the first time for presenters to sit in a studio by themselves, just like I am right now, talking to a RoboCam and keeping it engaging. Without an audience to engage with, it can be difficult for these presenters to keep it exciting. This is why knowing your script and rehearsing in a studio is very important. Just like on site at a live event, this is an expense that needs to be budgeted for. So the more pre-production you can do out of the studio, the more you can do to keep your expenses down. So in short, budget like you're doing a live event with multiple rehearsal days and similar show labor and equipment. Ron?
Thanks, Kyle. That statement about rehearsals is really important to remember. Essentially, the presenters are doing the same thing the screen actors are doing. Keep it exciting while talking to a camera. Now, be sure to keep sending in your questions, because if you guys have a few more, we still have some time, so keep sending in your questions.
Our next question is, how long is the creative process and how far ahead should we contact a virtual production team? Back to you, Blair.
Ooh, that's a great question. There's far more to planning an event experience or a virtual event experience than the mapping out of the logistics, which in itself can take a few weeks or even a few months. If you have an event that is signature to your brand and a key opportunity for you to communicate directly with your constituents, then the planning of that event should really happen well in advance. When you're planning for the whole year, an event can be pulled off in a short period of time, but then for it to be truly effective, everything in the program should be intentional, which simply takes time to develop.
Thanks, Blair. That's really helpful. The next question is, what are the advantages of having a live virtual set versus Zoom backdrop? That's a great question. Kyle, what are your thoughts on this?
Thanks, Ron. As you can see in our virtual environment walkthroughs, unlike Zoom, we have the ability to do full camera sweeps and incorporate multiple presenters on the same virtual set. We're also able to make any surface an input for video playbacks or graphics. For something like Zoom backdrops, which we have all used all the time for meetings, and it's a really great effect for 2D graphics or faking a 3D environment. Zoom-style backdrops are also perfect for in-person meetings where you want to hide your messy room or a dirty laundry pile sitting behind you. But does it add value to the presentation in terms of additional content? Not as much as a 3D virtual backdrop with those options. So it really depends on the level of production you're looking for and how you want to convey your message to the global audience.
Yes.
Thanks, Kyle. It appears that's all the time we have for questions. If you have any questions or you'd like a recording of this program, please reach out to us by heading to portlighting.com. On behalf of the entire PortLIVE team, thank you to all of the online viewers for joining us, and thank you to Misha and PCMA for hosting this event and inviting us to share this webinar with you.
To all of our members at PCMA New England and to all those who are registered today, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed the content. Please stay tuned to our website, pcmanewengland.org, for more information on upcoming events. Stay happy, stay healthy. Thank you.